All right, so today we're going to lace up our listening ears.
Yeah.
We are diving deep into the world of Nike.
I love it.
From like selling shoes out of the trunk of a car
Seriously.
to becoming like a global sportswear icon.
It's crazy.
Their journey is so much more interesting than like a plain white pair of sneakers.
It really is. And what's fascinating about their story is it's not even just about the shoes. It's about ambition, and it's about innovation, and it's about taking risks.
Yeah, so let's like rewind back to the early 1960s.
Okay.
We've got Phil Knight. He's like a recent Stanford grad.
Yeah.
With this crazy idea.
Okay.
He wants to bring Japanese running shoes
What?
to America.
Okay.
But here's the thing. He's got zero experience in the shoe business. Just a whole lot of hustle.
So this guy, he flies to Japan,
Wow.
and he just walks into a shoe store
No way.
and basically talks his way into becoming a distributor for Onitsuka Tiger,
Wow.
which is now known as ASICS.
Oh.
Remember, this was way before the internet, and like global trade was so easy. So Knight was really like creating his own opportunities.
I can't even imagine just showing up in Japan and being like, hey,
Right.
can I sell your shoes?
Yeah,
Like, that's so bold.
it is.
So he starts selling these Tiger shoes out of his car at track meets.
It's smart.
Smart, right?
He knew his target market.
Yeah.
Athletes by athletes.
Love it. Okay. So then he brings in his old track coach, Bill Bowerman, from the University of Oregon.
Okay.
And things really start to take off.
So Bowerman wasn't just a coach. He was like a shoe innovator, obsessed with like improving athletic performance through better shoe design.
Yeah, I read that he was literally dissecting shoes in his kitchen
Oh.
just to try to figure out how to make them lighter and more supportive.
Exactly. And it was Bowerman's tinkering that led to one of Nike's like first major breakthroughs, the waffle sole.
The waffle sole.
Yeah.
I like that.
Legend has it, he got the idea from his wife's waffle iron.
What?
Yeah, he thought the pattern would provide better traction, and he was right. The waffle sole revolutionized running shoe design and became like a signature of Nike's early success.
That's amazing.
Yeah.
So their company, which was then called Blue Ribbon Sports, growing like crazy, right?
Yeah.
Fueled by Bowerman's innovative designs and Knight's like knack for selling.
They were a true power duo, but they ran into a problem.
Uh-oh.
Their supplier, Onitsuka Tiger, started prioritizing the Japanese market
Oh.
and dragging their feet on shipments.
Classic case of outgrowing your supplier, huh?
It happens.
So what did they do?
Well, they made a bold decision. They decided to go independent.
Wow.
They had Bowerman, they had the designs, so they figured, why not?
1971, the Nike brand is born.
There you go.
And get this, the iconic swoosh logo that we all know.
Yep.
Only cost them $35 to design.
It's incredible to think that like such a simple, inexpensive logo would become one of the most recognizable symbols in the world.
Talk about a return on investment.
Right.
But it wasn't just the logo.
You know?
Nike was capturing something bigger. This feeling of like athletic ambition
Yes.
and striving for greatness.
Exactly.
And then they had this brilliant slogan to go with it.
Oh, yeah, just do it.
Just do it.
It wasn't even just a slogan, it was a philosophy.
Yes.
It was like a whole attitude.
It was a way of life.
They were selling more than just shoes.
What were they selling?
They were selling inspiration.
Exactly. And it resonated with people worldwide.
So Nike starts signing these endorsement deals with athletes, launching those like unforgettable ad campaigns.
Yes.
And they quickly become like the name in sportswear.
By 1989, they were the biggest sportswear company in America.
Wow.
A true testament to Knight and Bowerman's vision.
Amazing. But even giants can stumble, right?
That's right.
And that's what we'll dive into next.
The 2020s brought a whole new set of challenges for Nike.
Oh, boy.
From the rise of digital shopping to some fierce new competitors.
Yeah.
So picture this. It's like the early 2020s.
Okay.
The world is going digital.
Yeah.
And Nike, they're like always trying to stay ahead of the curve, right? Right? Everybody was shopping online.
Exactly.
And Nike saw a huge opportunity
Yeah.
to like connect directly with their customers.
Exactly. They went all in on this direct-to-consumer strategy, you know, investing heavily in their apps and their website.
Yeah.
They wanted to like create a whole Nike digital universe where customers could buy shoes and track their workouts and even get personalized training tips.
It sounds pretty smart.
Yeah.
Cut out the middleman, control the entire customer experience.
Yeah.
But didn't they also start cutting ties with some of their retail partners?
Yes. And that's where things got a little tricky.
Okay.
So at first, like their digital membership skyrocketed and online sales were booming.
Right.
But then the pandemic hit.
Yeah.
Supply chains went haywire.
Oh, no.
And consumer behavior shifted in these like unpredictable
Yeah,
ways.
the infamous inventory tsunami.
Exactly. Nike ended up with warehouses overflowing with unsold merchandise,
Wow.
nearly $10 billion worth of inventory, like their highest level ever. It turned out that they had overestimated how quickly consumers would like fully embrace online shopping, especially for athletic gear.
I can see that people still like to go to the stores, try things on, get that in-person experience.
Precisely. And because Nike had kind of burned some bridges with those retail partners,
Yeah.
they didn't have as many options when they needed to offload all that excess inventory.
Oh, yeah.
They ended up having to offer massive discounts,
Oh,
which really hurt their brand image and their bottom line.
So their big bet on digital backfired.
It was a tough lesson in the importance of balance.
Yeah.
They needed a strong digital presence, yes,
Of course.
but they also needed to maintain those crucial relationships with retailers.
Right. And to make matters worse,
Yeah,
all this was happening while new competitors were entering the market.
you're right. Brands like Hoka and On were gaining traction, especially in the performance running market.
Interesting.
Like, this was a market that Nike practically invented,
right.
and suddenly they were facing some serious competition.
It seems like they took their eye off the ball a bit,
It's possible.
focusing so much on digital that they forgot what made them great in the first place.
It's a common trap for successful companies.
Yeah.
They get so focused on one area that they neglect others.
Right.
And in Nike's case, these new brands were coming out with fresh designs and innovative technologies that appealed to a changing consumer.
People were starting to prioritize comfort and style,
Yeah.
even in their athletic shoes.
Right. Those chunky Hokas, they were
I
everywhere.
know they were everywhere.
And Nike didn't seem to have a quick answer.
So they had this inventory crisis, strained retail relationships, and these like hungry new competitors nipping at their heels.
Not a great position to be in.
Not at all.
By 2023, Nike was facing its worst performance in decades.
Oh, wow.
Their stock price was plummeting,
Yikes.
and analysts were questioning whether the giant had lost its step.
So what do you do when you're a global powerhouse facing a midlife crisis?
Well, in Nike's case, you bring in a new CEO with a plan to shake things up.
Enter Elliot Hill.
Stage left.
He takes the helm in October 2024
Yeah.
with a pretty big task ahead of him. So Elliot Hill steps in, new CEO, ready to get Nike back on track. So what's the game plan?
Well, he knew they couldn't just keep doing what they were doing. So step one, mend those fences with their retail partners. They realized that going all in on digital had been a mistake.
Yeah, makes sense. You need those stores, that physical presence to reach like a wider audience.
Exactly. It's about creating a seamless experience, whether you're shopping online or in person. And Hell also knew that Nike needed to refocus on what they do best, athletic innovation.
Back to the waffle iron inspiration.
Exactly. They announced this multi-year plan for new product releases, focusing on cutting edge running shoe technology and high-tech apparel and sustainable materials.
Wow.
They're even experimenting with personalized shoe designs using 3D printing.
3D printed shoes. That sounds futuristic. But
Right.
they're also still like the kings of endorsements, right? I mean, they just signed Caitlin Clark, the basketball superstar.
Yeah. Right. And, they'll be going big for the 2028 Olympics in Los Angeles. They've always been masters at using those global events to showcase their latest innovations.
So it sounds like they're taking the right steps, but the competition is still fierce out there. Can Nike really reclaim its spot at the top?
Well, here's the interesting thing. Despite all these challenges, Nike's still a giant. They're 4 times bigger than Adidas, their closest competitor. And their sales have actually grown by 15% between 2021 and 2023.
That's pretty impressive considering everything they've been through.
It shows you the power of a strong brand and a loyal customer base, but it also highlights that they can't afford to get complacent. The market is constantly changing, consumers are fickle, and new challengers are always emerging.
So what's the takeaway for our listeners? Why should they care about the ups and downs of a sneaker giant?
Because Nike's story is a reminder that even the most successful companies are vulnerable. It's a story about the importance of adapting to change and staying true to your core values and never underestimating the power of innovation.
It's also a reminder that we all make mistakes.
Yeah.
What matters is how you learn from them and bounce back.
Exactly. So the next time you lace up your sneakers, whether they're Nikes or another brand, think about the journey behind them. Think about the people who designed them and the athletes who wore them and the companies that are constantly pushing the boundaries of what's possible.
Because ultimately, it's not just about the shoes, it's about the stories they tell. Thanks for joining us on this deep dive into the world of Nike. Until next time, keep exploring, keep learning, and keep those sneakers laced up tight.